Hey, it's Doug from Rise Above Performance Training. And if you're going to the gym to do any upper body work, you're going to want to mobilize your shoulders. Fortunately, I have a very quick and effective way to do that. All you need is one of these. Let's check it out. So the shoulder joint is commonly referred to as a ball and socket joint. On a simplistic level, yes, it's true. You have a ball at the top of the arm, the humerus here, the humeral head, and it does sit in this area, this pocket around the clavicle and the shoulder blade, held together by muscles, the rotator cuff, ligaments, and tendons. But unlike a hip, which is also a ball and socket joint that sits in the pelvis in an acetabulum, kind of like a pocket for it, this one is a little more free-floating. So that means it can move in way more directions than the hip, almost unlimited. So when you're training, you want to make sure that you can move your shoulder in a lot of different directions and also be stable in a lot of different directions. That's why I like the band, because it offers a little bit of resistance, but also allows for, kind of stable mobility of the shoulder. So I have 10 exercises for you that you can do before your workouts or kind of in between sets to help make sure that your shoulder is stable and mobile. So all you need is a band. It doesn't have to be high tension. And you can run through this in any way that you want. I recommend, like I said, doing it before workouts, so you don't have to do a lot of them. It's just a frequent thing that you do all the time. So the first one we're going to do is just a simple pull apart. So I'm going to have my palms down just outside my hips, my shoulders down, glutes tight, pelvic tuck, and I'm just going to pull the shoulder blades together. When I pull, I'm not using my body to pull. My shoulders are down and I'm squeezing my shoulder blades and then controlling back. And I'm letting my shoulder blades do the work to move the band. So I'm really trying to isolate the movement that I want, which is retraction of the shoulder. The second one we're going to do is an overhead pull down. So I'm going to bring it overhead and I'm going to set my shoulders down. And if you imagine a lat pull down at the gym, I'm just going to pull like a lat pull down behind my head and then control up. When I come up, I don't want a lot of kind of upward traction of the shoulders. I want to kind of keep them down and just controlling up this way. Now your grip will make a difference. The wider you are, usually a little bit less tension, and the closer you are, a little bit more tension. So you want to feel like you can move throughout the range of motion and control it when the band wants to pull it back to the starting position. The third one we're going to do is we're going to go behind the back. And we're going to have our palms up, and you can also do this palms down, shoulders down, and we're going to work extension. So I'm going to tighten my glutes and just extend as far as I can. I don't want to bend my body. I want to keep my body still and only go to where I feel my body will change to get a little bit higher. You can also go palms down and do this. The wider you go, a little bit more range of motion you're going to get. So that is the shoulder extension. Now we'll go to flexion. Same thing, palms down, shoulders down. And this one's important because you want to keep the rib cage down. As I get to a certain point, my rib cage may want to flare upward, and I want to keep it down. So again, I'm going to stop right about here because that's when I feel the change start to happen. And again, the wider I go, a little bit more less resistance I have and a little bit more range of motion I can get out of that. So we've done all those. Now we're going to do a little internal rotation. So I'm going to throw the band behind my back. I'm going to grab one low and one high. Just imagine your spine, and you want to grab just along the spine. And I'm going to pull kind of like a seesaw motion. I'm going to pull up a little bit and then pull down. Again, I'm not flexing or extending my back. I'm keeping my glutes a little bit tight. Just pulling up, pulling down. Again, a little bit more slack. You can get a little bit more pull. And then you'll switch sides. You'll probably find one side being a little less mobile than the others. You can see my left arm is not very good on this side, which means I need to do a little bit more of this. So part of it's also a tight tricep in here, so I got to work on that, and that's what I'll do. Another one we can do is we can add a little bit of traction. So I have another band, same as this up here. I'm going to loop it around something high. So if you have a post or a pull-up bar, you can do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my hand around here, and I'm gonna get a little protraction, retraction. So I'm gonna sit on my hips, I'm gonna brace myself, and I'm just gonna subtly pull and then relax. And again, the shoulder can move theoretically in all different angles, so can you, so you can kind of move and change angles a little bit. Any way you want, you can go just a little bit across the body. And then the other one you can do is behind. So I'm gonna switch around here, and I have my arm up. I like to hold my rib cage because that way I know if I'm moving, if I'm starting to move, then I feel my hand move. So I'm just gonna retract and extend. Once I get going, I'm gonna fix my posture and make sure I'm all lined up. Again, you can change angles a little bit. I can flare out a little bit, which is a little bit, harder on the shoulder, that little external rotation there, but it's important. And what I'm thinking about is I'm using these muscles in here, I'm squeezing in and controlling back. So I'm not using my arm or my body to kind of pull through. Then the old rotator cuff. So you've probably seen these or done these in physical therapy. External rotation, I'm gonna tuck in, which is a little bit harder, and I'm gonna rotate outward. So away from my body. I like to keep my elbow in constant contact with my body, and I'm not using my torso to move it. I'm moving isolation here in the shoulder. And without turning around, I'll do the internal rotation on the other hand. So I'm gonna bring my elbow in. This is usually a little bit stronger. So I'm gonna set my body down, pull in, and then I'm gonna control back. Lastly, I like a little bit of extension. Sometimes I call this a swimmer, but we're gonna pull to our pocket, shoulder down, and I'm gonna pull to my pocket and then control up. So this is harder because the leverage is out here, so we don't wanna yank, but we wanna build up that strength when things start away from us and build up that tension that way. So I'm pulling through and then controlling back. If it's hard, I'll just walk a little bit more forward and then control back. So, there's no right or wrong. You can run through the sequence in any way that you want. Like I said, you can do it before your workout, as you're warming up, walking around, chatting with people. You can do your pull-aparts and pull-downs. 10, 15 reps, one set is fine just to get everything warmed up. If you feel tight, do it a little bit longer. Like if you're gonna bench press, you feel like, it's a little bit tight, just go for a little bit more. You can do it between sets. There's no real right or wrong, just make it consistent. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please like it down below. Also consider subscribing as we try to put out a new video every week. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.